So there's a chance you may have heard about this game, Goodbye Volcano High, and there's a better chance that you've heard nothing but negative things about it. Some of it is more civil, objective, and maybe a bit comedic, and others more on the bad faith side, to put it lightly. It's a game that was bound to rile up people online from the moment it was revealed, which interestingly was at the PS5 reveal event in 2020, supposedly cause it was forced on by Canada given that the Canadian Media Fund helped produce the game. This was a move that set the game up for high scrutiny, given the naturally high audience a console reveal event would have, particularly on 4chan, where a bunch of memes of it were made. A majority of those were extremely problematic and dark. Shocker, I know. And they would eventually inspire a full-on parody game using the same cast from the trailer called Snoot Game. I don't want to comment on Snoot Game and its plot, since I haven't played it, nor feel like I'd want to, given some choice things I've heard about its content, like detransitioning. And while I'm on it, if you hated the game purely because it has characters who are LGBT, then kindly leave my channel and don't come back. I do not tolerate any of that crap ever. I'm sure there's another channel or community on the internet that will. Anyways, I think it's safe to say that this was all a perfect storm to create negativity and anger regarding a piece of media, both before and after release, one that would rival the likes of High Guardian Spice. I'm going to do something a little different for this video. I won't be talking about the story or characters, primarily cause I never really played this game at all, but one thing I don't think I've seen anyone talk about, or at the least from those who are artists, which is the character designs, since the overall look of the cast is pretty janky as all hell. Now you might be asking,
how on earth can you critique the visuals of a game you haven't ever played, Picto?
Well, art speaks for itself, and I don't think I need to go through the game to see what I have to fix. Maybe to get inspiration from their backstories and the overall environment they're in, but I think I'm good with what to work with. Without a further ado, I'm gonna be analyzing the art style of Goodbye Volcano High, and even redesign a few characters too, just to see if I can try and fix them as much as I can. Let's start with the biggest issue the visuals have, and one you've likely noticed is the anatomy, especially their faces. The forehead area is way taller than the snouts. I can imagine that it was done to fit the game's anime/visual novel aesthetic. After all, the style tends to have large exaggerated eyes for the sake of enhancing character expressions, but man did they do it poorly. It looks fine with some angles, though there are many instances with the character animation where it's highly uncanny. I think if they shifted the anatomy and had a greater face to snout ratio, then it could have fixed them. This was something that the character designers struggled with, as mentioned in a Twitter thread by one of the artists,
Lucie Viage,
where she posted pieces of early concept art, showing a lot of trial and error on how to make the faces look right, even resorting to making 3D models to get a definitive look. Now some of the drawings do look a lot more uncanny than the final product, so maybe if they took a different approach, or did some more refining, then these characters could have looked better. Now that we got the major offender out of the way, I'm gonna talk about other aspects that I do like, even if it's bogged down by the aforementioned anatomy issues. I don't mind the hair at all, but again, fix the faces and it'll look more natural. And the same could be said with the fashion and clothing. The color design for them is alright. Some of the cast members are a little too pastel colored for my tastes. Better color harmony could be done, just so everything can be more focused, you know? As for the backgrounds, they look rather great. If there's anything the game's visuals do well, it has to be the backgrounds and environment. So with all the major elements of Goodbye Volcano High's art discussed and analyzed, I think I have a good idea of what to do with the redesigns. I'll use the main characters from the band Worm Drama, since they seem to be a good example and most manageable. I would try to redraw all of the cast, but it would be far too overwhelming to try and do them all, so these three will suffice for this video. I started off with some sketches of Feng, experimenting with what I could do to fix them. Now, I could go all anime or all dinosaur with them, but I decided to work off the base designs as much as I could. Plus, I'm not that well versed in dinosaur knowledge to do a truly accurate renditions of their designs. People still don't know whether Feng is supposed to be a pterodactyl or a pterosaur. After I figured out some outfits, with the help of my friends, I then got to work figuring out the main piece I wanted to make, and settled on one of all of them posing, cause who doesn't like fun poses? Trish and Reed were characters that I didn't change much, other than improving the snout anatomy, as well as some color harmony adjustments for Reed. And it was all smooth sailing, making this piece as best as possible. And there you have it. What do you think of these redesigns? Do you find them better, worse, somewhere in the middle? Let me know in the comments below. Hopefully, everything will be civil and normal down there when I upload this. I wanted to present this video in a more level-headed and analytical manner, seeing that there are already enough people being very cynical and harsh about the game as is, as well as how easily discussion of the game can turn to how Life is Strange ruined gaming forever. I wanted to focus on the character designs of the game, since I haven't seen anyone else do so yet. I'm not sure if I ever want to fully play the game in the future. I heard it's pretty middling at best with how they handle the plot, but who knows. Hopefully, more games pull off anthro/furry character designs way better in the future. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more art analysis videos. With all that said and done, I'll see you in the next video.